All right. Welcome to the program, everyone. It is Monday. I just wanted to hear the rest of that music bed because I always fade it out. I wanted to hear what was on there. No, that's not what happened, but that's the story we're going with. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. It is Monday morning, and man, another day of just massive news that we're going to cover on the program today. I hope everyone had a great weekend because, hey, we're in Biden's America, and there's just chaos each and every day that never ceases to shock me at how insane things are. And I want to talk a bit about the Silicon Valley bank collapse. And we've got a second bank, which has now been shut down. It's like 1929 all over again. I saw the line of people out in front of Silicon Valley Bank on Twitter over the weekend. So I'm on TV too. And it's really like it's that scene out of It's a Wonderful Life when everybody showed up to take out their money and George Bailey's trying to talk them out of it. That's what's going on here. And there's some new information that's coming out that I'm going to share with you in just a moment, which makes what happened at Silicon Valley frightening. And there is a lot more to see than we're being told. And, the problem is, when it comes to the media, the American people, I believe, have lost any faith in the media. Is there anyone out there that trusts the mainstream corporate media about anything? I don't think so. And right now, how can you trust them when they're talking about the state of banking in this country? When they're talking about the state of banking, how can you trust them? Because they lie about everything else in the mainstream media. And now they'll if they're lying about how they're covering this story, I do have a development here that I've not heard on television yet, and you're not likely to hear it on television anytime too soon. So we're going to get to that in a minute, get a bit of an exclusive here on the program in just a moment. But if they're not reporting the truth about the bank shutdown over the weekend, Silicon Valley, and then this new bank, the new bank's got a lot of crypto connected to it that they shut down. They'll tell themselves, if they're not reporting the truth, right? They'll tell themselves, well, we've got to keep the economy intact, so it's okay to lie. That's what these people do. They think it is okay to lie because they are doing what is best for the common good. And if we're out there doing what's best for the country and the common good, it's okay to lie. So people have just lost complete trust in them. And I'm not going to tease this. I'm going to get right into it. Silicon Valley Bank. Here's the headline. Listen to this. Silicon Valley Bank provided massive amounts of capital. Now, you've heard that there's a word that they've been leaving out of the mainstream media. Silicon Valley Bank, Silicon Valley, of course, that they're huge backers of tech startups, right? We've heard that all weekend long, but they left something out. Silicon Valley Bank provided massive amounts of capital to Chinese tech ventures. And now there's this bailout being talked about. You heard me right, Chinese tech ventures. And that's right. The CCP have their hands in everything, don't they? The Silicon Valley Bank has served as a huge bridge to China and Chinese tech engineers. The U.S. House reported they have, I will get into this other stuff on Biden in just a minute, but this is what I want to throw out to you guys, okay? Because we know that on many different levels, China is on the move in this country. I talk a lot about how China is behind the border crisis and the fentanyl problem we're having in this country today, right? They're shipping the fentanyl from China to Mexico, giving it to the cartels. The cartels put it on the migrants. They walk across the border. Boom, the fentanyl. That's China. A lot of talk about TikTok back in the news today. Trump was talking about TikTok years ago, And now, the rest of Washington's starting to wake up on it. And now now again, I'm not an expert when it comes to banking. I'm not an expert when it comes to, I'm not an economist. Okay. And I'm not going to pretend. I love all these people in media. They read a Wikipedia entry or a couple of stories in the news and they act as if they're all in the know. If I was an economist, I'd be a wealthy guy, and I'm not. Yeah. Why do you think I get up at 2:30 in the morning? Because I'm rich? Come on. But I do have some common sense, and I can see what is going on here. Now, what is being reported is that Silicon Valley Bank, this bank failure, they said is the second largest bank failure in history. And don't buy this story that they're trying to feed you today that, oh, it's just a small little bank. This bank is the 16th largest bank in the country. 16th. How can that be some little small thing if it's the 16th? Right? And of course, dealing with China, dealing with Silicon Valley and all that goes on there, makes it like, so this is not some tiny little bank. It's the 16th largest bank in America. At least that's what was reported over the weekend. And it has been reported that it is the second largest bank failure in American history. Now, that was like Saturday, early Sunday. And now, because of the second bank that's been shut down, it's all hooked up with the crypto, they are in the media trying to downplay everything, telling, oh, this is just some small bank. This isn't, Bank of America or anything. This is just a little bank. It's not, none of that's true. But this is what I want to throw out to you. And I know there are people in this audience who have a much greater understanding of banking and finance and the economy and than I do. Okay. This is Florida. We got a lot of wealthy people here that retire here or move here because we have no state income tax. So I know there's people in this listening audience that know a lot more about this than I do. But I want to throw this out to you. Now that it's coming out that Silicon Valley Bank, the tech startups were Chinese tech startups. Is it possible? Because if they're doing that much business with the CCP, that means China's got a lot of influence over big customer. Is it possible that China is behind the bank failure? Is it possible that China made this bank fail on purpose as a test? I'm throwing that out to you. I want to hear your thoughts. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Am I crazy? Am I getting paranoid? Do I see the CCP under every rock? It seems they're involved in everything, doesn't it? Especially when you're talking about California. That's right. And I want to hear your thoughts on this. Is it possible that China forced a bank collapse, and this is a test to see what kind of effect they can have on our economy in a negative way? Our number is toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's Monday morning. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Don't sit on the sidelines. Yeah, call guys. I'm curious to hear what you think about this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what it seems like. Oh, by the way, I put the link is pinned in the chat. My wife Kathy and I have published a new book, a book of poetry. I know it seems kind of odd that I do a book of poetry, but we did, and it is linked there. It's available on Amazon and Kindle, so go check it out. Download. We said it's the author is KB Craig, Kathy and Brian Craig, as opposed to putting both of our names on it. That was Kathy's idea, KB Craig. I like that. Can't do BK because I think it's Burger King. But yeah, this is actually our second book. We published a book years and years ago. So click that link. It is pinned in the chat. If you're not watching live and watching later, there's a link in the description to our book. So I'd appreciate that. You could buy a copy of it. And Kathy will wake up this morning to some sales. She'll be excited of our book. But it does seem that China is behind everything negative that goes on in our society, doesn't it? It's insane. It's completely insane, And I find that the news this morning is trying to downplay everything. Don't you guys? Does it seem like they're trying to downplay everything this morning? So I'll pull up the book so I can show you guys. And Kathy, of course, did the artwork for the cover of the book, United in Poetry, Verses Across the USA. And it's a collection of poems all about the United States. There it is, by K.B. Craig. There you go. By K.B. Craig, Kathy and Brian Craig. That's what that stands for. That's our PID name. And you click that link, it'll take you right there.
What's for dinner? Burgers? After last week.
Okay, where is my story that I had? Okay. Oh boy, it just to me seems impossible to believe that it's just a coincidence that China is behind the tech startups that this bank is connected to. All righty, welcome back, everyone. Callers on hold, stand by. It is Monday. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. And I want to tell you guys about Mike Lindell's latest invention. Mike Lindell's amazing. He's got these products that are I didn't think it could get any better, and now he's improving upon them. We've been talking for the last few weeks about the MyPillow 2.0, which has that cooling technology in it. And then, boom, Mike Lindell has, I know, this is crazy. Mike Lindell has released the latest 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0, which my wife and I have ordered. And next month will be 2 years since we got our 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, and we love it. But the mattress topper 2.0, which, by the way, it's the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0, has that cooling technology that the MyPillow has. This makes a great gift to yourself, great gift to your spouse, because you get to take the benefit of it as well. The MyPillow mattress topper 2.0, you'll wake up in the morning not being stiff. You'll wake up feeling great because you're perfect on those pressure points, but you're not going to be hot. You got your MyPillow 2.0, you got your 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0. You're going to be the perfect temperature. You're never going to get hot at night. And you're going to wake up feeling wonderful. You will get the best night's sleep you've ever had with the MyPillow mattress topper. Now with the 2.0, I can't wait to start sleeping on this. My wife is really looking forward to, when women are going through menopause, they get hot at night. They get hot, they get, menopause. They got all those night sweats and everything that's going on. And the MyPillow 2.0 and the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0, my wife is telling me what a great benefit it is for women that are going through menopause. That's right. But get this, the MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 is the 3-inch mattress topper 2.0. With our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at mypillow.com, is 40% off. We ordered ours and we used the promo code Kane. 40% off and free shipping. You heard me right. Free shipping and 40% off. Get your MyPillow mattress topper 2.0. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. All right, callers on hold, stand by. Just let me go through a little bit of this story, talking about the Silicon Valley bank collapse. And now we're finding out that it's not just risky tech startups that it backs that are all in trouble now because they lost all their money. But These are Chinese tech startups. The CCP is all over this. The Silicon Valley Bank, which provides massive amounts of funding to the China venture capital sector. The South China Morning Post noted the bridge between Silicon Valley Bank and China. And this is what the South China Morning Post wrote. The collapse of Silicon Valley Bank has created a sense of panic within China's tech startup and venture capital sector, as the lender served as a bridge between the United States capital and Chinese tech entrepreneurs. That's just what we want to do, is get involved with giving tech to the Chinese, right? As of Sunday afternoon, topics related to the collapse of the bank, including Silicon Valley Bank bankruptcy, has spread to multiple countries, and Silicon Valley Bank bankruptcy affects Chinese entrepreneurs. This was trending on Chinese blogging sites in Mother China over there, with posts receiving hundreds of millions of views. So China is the second largest venture capital market, and Silicon Valley Bank was right in the middle of it, according to TechCrunch. TechCrunch writes this: China, the world's second largest venture capital market. Across social media platforms, investors and startups are rushing to share news articles on the fiasco and thoughts on how to prevent such a catastrophic moment. For some companies, the impact is tangible. When China was still new to venture capital in the late 90s, Silicon Valley Bank was among the first financial institutions to start serving China's startups. So, yeah. So, I don't know. Is this another attack by China, this time on our financial sector? They're flooding us with illegals, China. They're flooding us with criminals, China. They're flooding us with fentanyl, causing all kinds of problems with that. I mean, so we're really under attack on so many levels. TikTok is spyware that's in every kid's phone, which, of course, is connected to a lot of their parents and things. You know, if you ever sell your kid or grandkid money, they got the TikTok, the CCP is all up in your phone. Is there any aspect of American society that is not being impacted in a negative way by China right now? And I think the mainstream media are covering this up. All right, let's take some calls. Our number, toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. There's a lot of other issues we're going to touch on today, but I do want to ask you guys this very specific question. Is this collapse of the bank, now we got a second bank shut down, the one in New York City, oh boy, is this an attack by China on our financial markets, on our banking system? Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, I have another theory about this thing. Yeah, your theory might hold water about them, the Chinese kind of doing this to their own bank. But what if this? What if Chinese did it, knowing full good and well that their puppet in the White House and their puppets in the Senate and the House are gonna
bail them out.
Bail it out. Declare it too big to fail.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, the biggest listen, when people, the big question we'll find today is how afraid are people in the country, right? Are people going to go to the bank today and start withdrawing money? And if they do, what is that going to do to the banking industry, to the financial markets? And if there's a massive bailout of the banking system by the government, you know, there's a lot of very negative impacts to that on the economy. Number one would be inflation. You know, we're going through a massive inflationary period, and the one and only thing that causes inflation, regardless of what anyone tells you, is the government spending too much money, right? That's the only thing that causes inflation. So if there's a massive bank bailout that comes in, that's going to drive inflation further up into the air and cause all kinds of trouble. because of this. So I think that I don't think China cares about the little bit of money that they'll get bailed out. China's got so much money coming to them. I don't think they worry about that. I think this very well could be an attack on our banking system by China, and another way to devalue our currency even more.
Right. I don't doubt that. I'm just saying that, you know, what happened in 2008 when these banks got bailed out then, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but again, this is Chinese, and we know how corrupt this guy in the White House is, and these people, and particularly people like Schumer and of course our friend Mr. McConnell there, and Mr. Spyhard there from California, Swalwell, running for Senate, are that
that's right.
and how they're tied so deeply to China. So, you know, China could be thinking, yeah, we're going to attack them, their their economy, but also knowing full good and well that in the back of their head that they're going to get bailed.
Yeah, and I'll tell you nothing. If there's by the way, Mike, thanks for the call. If there's a bank bailout, does the big guy, who of course is Biden, does the big guy get a 10% cut? All right, let's take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Jeez. This is we're in not a good time, guys. You know, because China is the employer of so many members of our government, including Biden. Yeah. How do you stand up to your employer like that, you know? Exactly. I think it's quite possibly a test run or the beginning of something, but it's I don't think it's an accident. You know, you guys let me know. I can't wait to talk to William Youngerman today with the gold report. What's the third one? I'm going to get into the story about Signature when we get back, but I didn't know there was a third. What's the third? Is there a third bank? No, the depositors that are guaranteed the $250,000. That's not a bailout. Not yet. That's a little bit of money. The individual people like us that have money in a bank, that's nothing. I'm going to get the silver Signature when we get back. Silvergate. Oh my goodness. It's like dominoes. Let me read over this a little bit here, guys. You got to bear with me. No. Silvergate is they're a are they a bank? I think they're a holding company. Is not a bank, right? I don't know. Oh my goodness. So tell me what you guys think is in play here. Is this just a screw up by these financial institutions? Is this a test run by China? Is this an attack by China? What do you think is going on? and call me on the air and share your thoughts, because I mean, this is a crazy town we're in. I mean, we're just in a strange place right now. Mm. Well, part of the reason things aren't looking well is because the people that run this government don't do anything. Look, we had this train disaster. They haven't done anything about that, you know? So anytime there's a problem, I'm talking about this week, anytime there's a problem, the whole Biden regime do nothing to fix things. You know, I mean, that's how it is. By the way, guys, make sure you like the video. And if you're new, welcome and subscribe. It's our bottom of the hour break. We'll be back in just a couple of moments here. They sit on their hands no matter what happens. You know, that's it, you know. And that is a big problem. Yeah, so Friday after the show, I'm heading to Georgia. So, you know, where I'm going in Georgia is in South Georgia. It's only about 4.5 hours by car from where I'm at, believe it or not, up by 95. I have not driven to Georgia in a long time. I've never really driven to Georgia. I've driven through Georgia many times. But going to do something fun in Georgia, which I'll tell you guys about after I do it. I'm looking forward to it. Meeting a friend. Welcome from the UK. It's the last commercial. We're coming back.
On the air.
All righty, we're back. It's Monday. We're back here live. Call us on hold, stand by. So here's the New York Post today. The federal government Sunday, that's yesterday, the federal government Sunday announced the failure of a second bank with deep ties to the tech industry as regulators rushed to try to stem the losses caused by the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. Manhattan-based Signature Bank, which apparently had some problems with our great President Trump, a key financial institution for the cryptocurrency industry, was shut down over a similar risk exception, according to a joint statement from the heads of the U.S. Treasury, Federal Reserve, and the FDIC. Oh, my goodness. We got 2 bank collapses in just like 3 days under Biden. And this one, this new bank, is in New York City. So these are 2 big areas, Silicon Valley and, of course, New York City. And this one's heavy into crypto. A lot of people got money. Oh, this is just bad news. All right, guys, I'm throwing this out to you. Is this just a mistake by the bankers? Or is this a test or an attack by the CCP, China? All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, Brian.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, this is by design. The American dollar is the standard in the world. Everything comes off the dollar. With a free America, the New World Order globalists cabal can't run everything, and they want America. That's the last stand, and we need to stand up against this. They're going for digital currency, no cash society, where they can control all your money, and we need to stay free.
Well, we know that China would very much like the U.S. dollar to not be the standard international currency. All right, so there's if we have massive inflation and our currency is devalued so much, the American dollar. I mean, I'm not an economist. Donald Trump's an economist, right? Yeah, but I'm not an economist. But I do know this, that if your goal is to bring down America, China's doing everything they can do to make that a reality.
And it would have never happened had President Trump got in office in 2020. This wouldn't even be an issue.
Well, part of the problem with this bit of a crisis that we have going on, regardless of why it's happened, these bank collapses, and I imagine there'll be others, because people are going to panic and want to take their money out. That's going to happen. There are going to be people that go to the bank today and take money out. I would imagine people are going to get nervous. But the thing about it is, whenever there's a crisis, the Biden regime do nothing, right? Train derails and poisons a whole community. They do nothing. So when whatever the problem is, whether it's the baby formula shortage, whatever the problem is, the people in charge in the Biden administration do nothing to address any problems we have.
Well, I think it's all by design. Everything you're talking about is by them, what we call the deep state, people that want the destruction of America. And it's so clearly evident, because if you don't even send in aid into a disaster area like Palestine, Ohio, how can you not see the criminal behavior of that? Because the first thing you do is, what's the federal government's first job? Protect the homeland, people. And you're not sending them in to help these people?
No, they're protecting Ukraine. They're protecting Ukraine so they can get their cut for the big guy.
Sending money over there so they can get it laundered back.
Mm-hmm.
And suffer. And it's just crazy, Brian. And that's why MAGA and President Trump is so important, because everybody that's against him knows that he's for we the people. He's not for himself. He's not making money. He's losing money.
Well, I'm really looking forward to talking to William Youngerman later in the show and find out what, that's going to be a big tell, the metals, because the coin shops, like William Youngerman has a coin shop, right? And coin shops haven't opened yet. So I don't pay attention to the stock market too much. The stock market to me is like cryptocurrency. It's a big Ponzi. It's all fake, and I don't own a single stock of anything, nothing. I don't have one share of anything. Okay. But when
like you, Brian, we are people of faith. Our faith is in God, and President Trump has said it all along. Government is not the answer. Our faith in God, and we the people, e pluribus unum.
Yes.
We're one nation under God, and we need to just stand our ground and do what we normally do. But it does go back to our education system. We need to start educating.
Well, there were some, by the way, Jeff, some good points. Thanks for the call. There were some stories over the weekend about Etsy sellers who couldn't transfer their funds because it's tied up with Silicon Valley Bank. You see this, regular people? You don't think that's going to freak people out? You know how many, my daughter has an Etsy shop, right? My wife has an Etsy shop. How many of you ladies out there have Etsy shops? And it might just be for fun. It might be for a hobby. It might be for a few extra bucks, or maybe it's for a lot of your bucks. I don't know. But when I see stories that mothers and housewives can't get their money from their Etsy shops in the news, I'm like, that freaks people out, man. And I'm not trying to freak anybody. I'm not, like I say, I'm not an economist. I'm not a banker. I'm just talking about what's in the news and what the perception is from the average Joe on the street, which is me. I'm the average Joe on the street. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Good morning. This is Richie. Not for nothing, but Jeff, you got to get off this one. He's like a guy in blinds who said, "Oh, everything is Trump, Trump, Trump. Always come back, Trump this, Trump that." The fact is that we happen to be, Jeff. We are. You know what they call a female dog? Well, that's what.
Yeah. to China.
the art to China.
Well, that's why we need Trump back. That's why we need Trump back, so that wouldn't happen.
I get what you're saying, but one man is not like the Lord. You know, I mean, this is far beyond President Trump.
Is Richie a never Trumper?
We are in bed with
Tell
the
me,
enemy.
do you think Richie's a never Trumper?
Tentacles are all out there, and China's calling in the chips. The bottom line is everything that we have is owned by China, invested by China, by this government, because they've all made money on China. It all comes down to the almighty dollar. They've sold this country down the toilet.
Well, that's true, but Trump, you know, part of his platform for his reelection in the 2024 campaign is to get us off of our dependence of China in every aspect.
He's the only one. Even DeSantis, you don't know what his foreign policy is. The bottom line is all of these politicians are Washington. You can't buy anything that's not right. How many other banks have investments in China? We've already given China something.
So what do you think? So what do you think happened here? Do you think this is just a screw up by the bankers, or is China doing something here?
Well, somebody leaked to the people, hey, your money is in jeopardy, so they all had to run around the bank. Somebody leaked it. I didn't leak it. You didn't leak it. There must have been somebody who decided, let's check this out.
And all these tech people, what was crazy about it is all these tech people physically went to the bank. You know how rare that is these days? They physically went to Silicon Valley to get their money out, which is astounding.
Somebody leaked it to all of them. And it's just a disgusting thing how much investment that we have with the enemy of this country, and it's not stopping. They are right in our face. It's totally. This is what happens when you do the wrong thing behind the back of the American people.
Well, do you think, Richie? Oh my goodness, they probably all are. Do you think regular people like us are going to go to the banks today and start taking money out?
No, because I don't think
they don't have money.
People in this country are into what we are into, which is politics.
I got to tell you, I think this Silicon Valley story is all over social media, out of the realm of politics, and it's really insane how it's all over the place.
Where are they going to put their money? Under their bed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I would imagine. Okay, I'll tell you, this second bank in New York City that the government shut down yesterday. That's a big cryptocurrency backer. So that story, it hasn't even hit out there yet. So what you'll have these crypto people perhaps dumping their crypto and then getting out of the bank because they're in a panic.
This is worse than crazy times that you say. You're very perceptive, man. I mean, you see it and you see it for what it is. And like I said, I'm praying to God President Trump gets in there. But this guy in the White House is saying that China's our partner. They're not.
Well, they're his employer. He's like employee of the month. All right, Rich, you got to run for a break. Thanks for the call. Call is on hold. Stand by. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9.
I'll be right back, guys. I had a lot of water this morning. Be right back.
Make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
If you happen to be on hold, hang in there. I'm going to go to the call right after the break. Oh, man. No, I think there's more to this than's being reported. I really do.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Attention wine lovers and travel enthusiasts. Join the luxurious Douro River Cruise in Portugal, August 23rd to September 2nd. This trip offers a unique and intimate experience. You'll enjoy the best of Portugal from the stunning city of Lisbon to the world-renowned port wine region of Porto. This luxury riverboat provides exceptional service and top-of-the-line cuisine with indulgent wines and culinary delights. To join and learn more about this once-in-a-lifetime trip, visit wineportugal.com. Request a brochure. Social justice warrior.
Steve Kane Show is on the
All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I got to tell you guys, Forever Youth in Boca, the expansion of any lab test now of Boca. They have a lot of specials on their fillers. They get rid of those lines and wrinkles and everything all month long in the month of March. But they have a massive special going on their Cool Sculpting Elite, which is FDA approved. And this is amazing. The Cool Sculpting Elite, we found out about it. One of Steve's daughters, she's had a few children, and she went and got the Cool Sculpting Elite. And that's how we found out about it. And, any lab test now of Boca and Coral Springs have been with us for several years here on the program, supporting this program. And they've expanded into Forever Youth. And they have a lot of specials going on this month on all of their major services. But I want to tell you guys about the special they have on the Cool Sculpting Elite. I want to highlight that because this is a great one. Diets, come on. Is there anybody out there who can honestly tell me they went on a diet, it worked, and they kept it off, and they look great? Come on. The Cool Sculpting Elite does everything liposuction does without the invasive surgical procedure. It's done in the office. It freezes the fat away, and then they sculpt your body, the part that they rid you of fat in, so that it looks as if the way that you want it to look. And it works on all areas of the body that have fat. Stomach, love handles, back of the arms, the neck, the double chins, the Mitch McConnell chin neck thing going on. Legs, wherever you have fat, the Cool Sculpting Elite at Forever Youth will work. Now, here's the special they're offering for listeners of the Steve Kane Show. So I'm going to give you the number in a moment. When you call Forever Youth, you have to tell them you heard about them on the radio to get this deal. They're offering, you can have 8 areas of your body treated with the Cool Sculpting Elite to rid you of fat, but you only pay for 4. So it's basically half off. You get 8 areas of fat on your body taken care of for the price of 4. Pretty good deal, huh? It sure is. Here's the number, 561-717-8081. 561-717-8081. That's 561-717-8081. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio and take advantage of that deal. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Andrea.
Oh, hey, Andrea.
So on the Silicon Valley Bank thing, first and foremost, I do not believe they were FDIC insured, which was the major issue, right? Because if they're not FDIC insured, nobody's getting anything.
Yeah.
But the thing that I find super interesting about the whole banking situation is that Wells Fargo has been having issues for the past month too. But to your point, it would be easy to blame China for this instead of blaming who's really responsible for
Pops.
the government and the Democratic voters who put this person in office. That's who's really responsible for this. Democratic voters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You didn't know any of his policies. You put him in, and for 2 years, he has run the country into the ground. But you know who's going to be totally cool, Brian? Who's going to be completely okay? People in Ukraine, because we're going to cover their pensions. So don't worry about it, America.
Now, when they say, you know what, I'm a little curious about this, okay? The bailout of the Ukrainian pensions. You know, I don't know what that means exactly. Does that mean their version of Social Security, or does it mean like corporate pensions of Ukrainian companies, or does it mean both? Because, you know, in Europe, they call, you know, they don't have Social Security, they have the government, their government's equivalent of it, and they're often referred to as pensions. So I don't know. I'm not, hey, none of it should be covered. Here they are wanting to raise our Social Security age to like 99 years old now. But they're covering these over in Ukraine.
Well, think about this for a second. All of these illegals that have flooded in to the border, do you really think our social safety net is going to survive that?
Oh, I know.
For a second.
Exactly.
We're eliminating every ounce of security that this country has. You know who's responsible? Democratic voters.
Pops. Yep.
Not doing anything about it.
Well, I did read this. I did read this morning that Mayor Pete's on the job. Yeah. The problem, the big problem we have, no matter who the president is, there's problems in the country that rise up, like this thing with the banks or the train derailment. The difference is this is the first time we've had leadership that doesn't do anything when there's a problem. That's where the crisis comes in. You know, if there's a major issue, a disaster, whether it's natural or financial or something, and you have competent leadership, they come in and get involved. But this government, led by Biden, they don't. They just sit back and watch the news and let it play out. And that's why these things get us into so much more trouble than they should.
But they do stuff in Ukraine now. They do stuff in Ukraine.
Well, we know what that's about because they get a commission on it.
Well, to me, before Silicon Valley Bank gets bailed out, I would like to see the people of East Palestine, Ohio, get bailed out.
Exactly. I mean, think about, you know, talking about bailing out a bank or these companies that are going to be affected by it. You know, business owners and individuals in East Palestine, what's the property value at now compared to what it was 6 months ago? You know, they've lost everything. These people have lost everything and they can't sell. Who's going to buy a house in East Palestine? Who's going to buy an office building in East Palestine? You know, but you still have that mortgage that you got to pay on your house that's now worth nothing. Now, I'm not saying that they necessarily should be bailed out. I don't know, but I do know this. If we're bailing out Ukraine and we're going to bail out a bunch of CCP-backed tech companies with this bank, we should be able to help the American people in East Palestine and the surrounding area.
Well, I 100% agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how many more times hardworking Americans are going to fall for the okie doke.
Yep. All right, Andrea. I appreciate the call. Thanks so much for your call. All right. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Uh-oh. What happened? Did you hear that? That was strange. Did you guys hear that? It's like that was an odd thing. All right. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I'm not going to talk about the banking stuff all day long here. We'll just finish up in this hour because there are some other stories to talk about. And actually, there's quite a few stories that we're going to talk about on the program today and take your calls. But I will tell you this. See, what I was telling Andrea, the biggest problem we have is the incompetence of those who are running the agencies of government. There was a Biden official on one of the Sunday shows that didn't know the basics of the banking business, and they're in charge of the government's role in getting involved here. When you have a government that puts people in charge of things because they're checking off the boxes so they can be the first this and the first that, you have people that are incompetent in charge of things. And when people are incompetent, they don't even know what to do. The worst thing is they think they know what to do and don't, like Hillary Clinton when she was Secretary of State in Benghazi. You know, she wasn't qualified to be Secretary of State. She wasn't qualified to handle things in a crisis. But she was the Secretary of State, and she was put in charge of a crisis situation. And that's what we have going on now. Whether it's the incompetent people that are in charge of the economy appointed by Biden, who've never had jobs outside of a college setting, or Mayor Pete in charge of the transportation department. We have an entire government of people that are not qualified to be in charge of the agencies that they are in charge of. And that's a problem. And we are seeing that each and every day. Now, I want to tell you guys about my chiropractor, Dr. Philip Appleton. He is absolutely amazing. He's just absolutely amazing. He rid me of my pain in my knee, rid me of my arthritis pain. You know, one treatment, my arthritis pain gone. 2 treatments, my knee pain gone. And it's been almost a year since he treated me for knee pain. And it's been 6 months since he treated me for my arthritis pain. And you know what? Not only did he rid me of the pain has not returned. I mean, is that amazing? You know, this is what I was thinking. I was thinking, I've got this pain. I'm in pain, like the arthritis in my finger. I just figured, well, I'm getting older, and it's time to get arthritis and suffer. I just thought that was that part of the aging process, and you learn to bear the pain. You know what? It's not part of the aging process, and you do not need to live with pain. Dr. Appleton's laser away pain treatment is amazing. Completely painless. It's non-invasive. There's no injections, no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. And it works on so many different types of pain. Rotary tears, herniated discs, fibromyalgia, spinal stenosis, sciatica, tinnitus, neck and back pain, any joint like my knee, post-surgical swelling, strains and sprains, bursitis, arthritis throughout the body. Now listen, appointments are not necessary. That's right. And walk-ins are welcome every day of the week. He's open Monday through Saturday. Give Dr. Appleton a call. He's a chiropractic physician, and he wants you to say bye-bye to your pain like I did. Here's his number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. Make sure you tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. I'm going to switch gears, but you're welcome to call in about this as well. We'll be right back.
WWNN Pompano Beach.
Oh, boy.
Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Have experienced
Oh my goodness. Well, it is. It is scary times. No doubt about that. You're 20 miles from the Georgia state line. Yeah, I'll be going to Georgia on Friday. I'm driving to Georgia Friday and driving back home on Saturday. So it's a quick trip. I don't know how I'm going to do what I got to do over the next 7 days. Well, thank you. Yes. Thank you very much, Rome. Yeah. My wife and I have published a new book. This is our second book. We released a book years ago, many years ago, and this is our second book. And it says KB Craig. That's Kathy and Brian Craig, right? Instead of putting our full names there, we put KB Craig. And it's a book of poetry about America. And I put the link in the description of the YouTube video. But if you're watching live, I pinned the link to our book. It's available on Amazon in the chat. So if you could go and grab a copy of that book, that'd be awesome. Oh boy. All righty, welcome back. It's Monday. We are back. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show. Indeed, you are. The Steve Kane Show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. Welcome back. Okay. You know, the left, they call us haters and all these things. And, you know, it's all projection. But there's been another moment on The View. The View, I know people say, I don't watch The View. You know what? I don't watch The View either. And I don't think very many people do, honestly. I think most people do what I do. There's something that happens on The View, and you see it on Twitter, or you hear someone like me talking about it, and then you go and check out that clip. I can't imagine many people watch that. I don't watch The View, okay? I've watched an episode or two. I did watch a big chunk of an episode a few weeks ago because they had the cast of Star Trek The Next Generation on, talking about Star Trek Picard. I'm a Star Trek fan. And that was really an embarrassment of a show. I got to tell you, even with our Star Trek actors there, it was awful. But The View just goes over the line over and over and over again. And they had a moment on, was it Friday's show with Jane Fonda? And things let me check. Was it Friday's show? And I got to tell you that this story, yeah, it was Friday's show. What I was trying to find out, was the Friday show of The View live or was it taped? Typically, The View is live Monday through Thursday, and then on Thursday they tape Friday's show because the ladies of The View can't work 5 days a week, right? So they want to have 3-day weekends. So I don't know if Friday's show was live or taped. And I did read through some stories on this, and no one asked that question. It's worse if it was taped. Jane Fonda, who is one who really should be in prison, Don't you think for what she did in Vietnam, Jane Fonda should be in jail? She committed high treason against the United States of America, Jane Fonda. And she came back from committing treason after her visit during the war to North Vietnam. And her big movie star career really was after that. I know she did some things before, Barbarella, Clute, a couple things. But her big, big hits were after she committed high treason against the United States of America. She's a terrible person. And Jane Fonda visited the Coven of the View with Lily Tomlin. I forgot about Lily Tomlin. Really forgot about Jane Fonda, too. I haven't thought about Lily Tomlin since I was a kid, and my grandmother took me to the movies to see that incredible Shrinking Woman movie that she did. That was like, what, 79? I haven't thought about Lily Tomlin since then. But, and Jane Fonda, I haven't thought about Jane Fonda in a long time either. But when Jane Fonda visited The View, it was like the Queen was visiting one of her covens. Like she's the top witch in the world or in America, and she's visiting one of her local covens in New York City, the Coven of the View. Now, remember, ABC News is where The View falls, believe it or not. You know, The View is not on the entertainment side of ABC. It's actually under the management of ABC's news division. I don't know why that is, but it is. But regardless of that, it's on broadcast television. Jane Fonda, she should have been arrested when she came back to America from North Vietnam. But she's done something else that she should be arrested for. And you know what? It's possible, even at the age of 85, Jane Fonda very well may get arrested. So let me play this clip, and then I'll tell you about how she may get arrested because she messed with the wrong person, Marjorie Taylor Greene. So Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin are on The View. Yeah, Hanoi Jane. They're on The View. Got all the ladies there on The View, and they're talking about the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and Walgreens has stopped carrying the morning after pill at a lot of their locations because it is illegal in a lot of states. And California, of course, has come down on them. So you've got Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Joy Behar, Sonny, and whatever the crew of the Coven are, sitting around talking about Walgreens obeying the law and not carrying the morning after abortion pill. And Jane Fonda's upset at those who believe an unborn child has a right to live, and went over the line, so far over the line that I don't know if I've heard someone talk this way before on one of the major American networks. So here it is. Here's The View, Friday, Hanoi Jane Fonda. Oh, it's the first soundbite of the week. I forgot to hit the on button. Okay, forget that. Let's rewind. So here's Hanoi Jane Fonda on The View Friday.
We have experienced many decades now of having agency over our body, of being able to determine when and how many children to have. We know what that feels like. We know what that's done for our lives. We're not going back. I don't care what the laws are. We're not going back.
That's the activist. That's Jane speaking, and she probably will get a Nobel Prize.
But it's the truth. It is the truth. We're not going to do it.
Besides marching and protesting, what else do you suggest?
Okay, now here's where the controversy. So Joy Behar, who's supposedly a comedian, I never hear her tell a joke, say, well, other than protesting, what can we do, Hanoi Jane Fonda? What can we do? And Jane Fonda has a very inappropriate recommendation on what they can do on the left to bring back abortion.
We're not going to do it.
Besides marching and protesting, what else do you suggest?
Well, as a murder, night, it's not a miraculous.
What did you say?
Murder.
She's kidding. Wait a second. She's just kidding.
Don't say that. That's
You don't know. They'll pick up on that. And
that's the worst.
She's just kidding.
Well, let me talk to you about it.
Wow. So, yeah, what Hanoi Jane said is murder. So Jane Fonda on ABC broadcast television on Friday on The View suggested that liberal pro-abortion activists murder pro-life people. Isn't that something? Well, now she's in a little bit of trouble because Marjorie Taylor Greene, I know, isn't that terrible? I know, that's annoyed Jane Fonda. Marjorie Taylor Greene, there's an article in the New York Post today, but she is getting involved in this. Marjorie Taylor Greene slammed Jane Fonda after the actress, they say supposedly joked. Did that sound do they mean that she supposedly joked but meant it in a serious way? I think that's what they meant. Marjorie Taylor Greene slammed Jane Fonda after the actress supposedly joked on ABC's The View that she thought about murder when fighting for abortion rights. Speaking on The View Friday, Jane Fonda said the country would not go back on abortion despite the reversal of Roe v. Wade. And when asked what people can do aside from marching and protesting, Jane Fonda said, murder. The comment turned heads on the talk show, with the host playing it off as a joke as the crowd laughed when 85-year-old Jane Fonda fired back with a serious look. In a series of tweets over the weekend, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Georgia Republican, said she would be reporting Jane Fonda for allegedly threatening her and other, they say, anti-abortion activists. I call them pro-life activists. And Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted out, I routinely get death threats because of the nasty women on The View and the things they say about me. Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted as she dubbed herself an unapologetic pro-life politician. Marjorie Taylor Greene went on to say, but calling for us to be assassinated makes The View, the host, the producers, the network, the advertisers, and everyone involved responsible for death threats, attacks, and potential murders of pro-life politicians and activists. I am reporting this. Marjorie Taylor Greene went on to further insult the actress, saying, by the way, Jane Fonda, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene's tweet. These are not my words. Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted this, by the way, Jane Fonda, and she tagged Jane Fonda on Twitter, your eggs are dried up, so you don't have to worry about getting pregnant anytime soon, so you can retire from demanding baby murder now. Marjorie Taylor Greene called on the FBI and Justice Department to get involved, saying it would be hypocritical to target anti-abortion protesters, but not Jane Fonda. And that's true. You know, pro-life protesters that pray outside abortion clinics have been harassed and raided and had all kinds of problems by Garland's Justice Department. You know, this thing with Jane Fonda, this isn't just some old lady who said something. She's old now. She's 85. She sounds a little bit like Katharine Hepburn. You know, there you can tell. And you know, and what happened to Jane Fonda is what happens to Biden all the time. She's obviously not in the same place mentally that she once was. She's got a little dementia going on. And when people are suffering from age-related dementia like Alzheimer's, a couple of things happen. One, their most prominent negative personality traits become more pronounced. But the other one is they lose the filter. They can't determine what they should and should not say in public. And she said that famous line that you hear a lot. She said the quiet part out loud. She was advocating for violence against pro-life activists on ABC network television. Right? Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? Our number 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE 1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Movies 95.9 and 106.9.
So we're 716-4879. 716-4879. This night's sleep just like I do every night.
Oh man! All right, now I'm going to get into DeSantis a little bit when we get back. This time change has me off. Am I the only one that's off with this time change? This is like the first real day of it, you know.
30 years at the same location for great deals on new and used tires. I have suppliers, get you incredible deals.
I forgot about it this morning, but I was having I'm just feel off. I feel really off, and then I realized it's still dark out.
Attention wine lovers and travel enthusiasts. Join the luxurious durable.
I was just going to do that commercial.
This trip offers a unique intimate experience. You'll enjoy the best of Portugal, from the stunning city of Lisbon to the world-renowned port wine region of Porto. This luxury riverboat provides exceptional service and top-of-the-line cuisine. You'll indulge in local wines and culinary delights. To join and learn more about this once-in-a-lifetime trip, visit RyanPortugal.com.
Which one are we in? Is this daylight savings? Which one are we in right now? I always get them confused. All right, welcome back, everyone. 19 minutes after the hour. It is Monday morning. I hate the time change. You know, I felt a little off all morning long, and I couldn't quite figure it out. And then I just looked out the window, and it's dark out. I realized, the time. Today's like the first day of the time change, right? Yesterday was Sunday. You know, you wake up, and I'd forgotten about it. I knew I felt off today because I'm a creature of habit. I've got a routine, you know. I've got a routine, and this time change. It's 19 minutes after 7, but all of us, I mean, I know me. My body thinks it's 19 minutes after 6, and my alarm goes off at 2:30 in the morning. You know, I got to do show prep and stuff in the morning. But my body thinks that I got up at 1:30 in the morning. And it's just a mess. This changing of the clock stuff. I don't know why we do. This is daylight savings time, right? I like the other one because I'm a morning guy. I like it when it gets lighter earlier and darker early. I'm cool with that. Spring forward, fall back. Yes, I get all confused about all this stuff. And I know I'm not the only one, but I know I am off today. I just feel a little bit off. And I know you guys do too. And I'd forgotten about it when I went to sleep last night. I was like, I was up late. I was watching TV with my wife. I looked at the clock. I was like, I'm up late. I'd forgotten about the time change. Because you know why I forgot about the time change? Because it's not like the old days. You don't have to change the clocks anymore. They all change themselves. We used to have to change. Remember that? You'd have to change the clock before you went to bed on Saturday night, right? You put it ahead, you put it back. But now all the clocks are on our phones and everything, and they just update themselves. So you don't even do. So I kind of forgot about it. So now I know why I feel off. Well, I will tell you this, and you all know, real estate in Florida is hot and selling for just insane amounts of money, which is a good thing. If you're selling your house, this is a great time to do it. This is like your ship coming in. But when you sell your house, you want to list your house with Elena Castro. Elena Castro is a real estate agent who has over 20 years of experience in South Florida. She covers the entire South Florida area, all the way up from Miami all the way up through the Treasure Coast. And Elena Castro, who was introduced to Steve and me by Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting, who will never sell you a roof you do not need. So you know she comes very highly recommended if Tom Laporta is recommending her. And give her a call. The number I'm going to give you in a moment rings directly to Elena Castro's cell phone. And, you know, when you're selling your house, even at these very inflated prices, you want to get as much as you can. You want to get top dollar. And Elena Castro has a way to do that, and it's to get you multiple offers. You know, you get multiple offers and there's a competition for your house. That's when you get the asking price, or maybe even above asking price, right? Yeah. So before you list your house, call Elena Castro and she'll explain to you why you should list your home with her. Now, if you're looking to buy or even rent, she can help you and find you great deals too. But give Elena Castro a call. Her number, 954-478-5015. 954-478-5015. That's 954-478-5015. All right. So on Friday, you know, we've been talking a lot about Ron DeSantis versus Trump. And, you know, I like Ron DeSantis. I've been a supporter of Ron DeSantis, and I know you guys have too. And they've gotten to this guy. They've gotten to this guy. At least we hope. We hope he wasn't always with them. But he's not playing for the right team right now. He's on the Bush team. He's on the Lincoln Project team. And this is just not good. And what's going on here is it pains me to be critical of Ron DeSantis. He's done so much good for the state of Florida. And he's doing severe damage to himself that I don't know if he can recover from at this point. I really don't. I don't know if DeSantis can recover. You know, I'm getting a lot of messages from people that listen to the program and my podcast and everything. And they're telling me that I got to lay off DeSantis. I'm getting a lot of this, by the way, because he's going to be our candidate in 2028. Well, he's showing there's a couple of things that have come out about Ron DeSantis in the past couple of weeks that are not good. One, he shows very, very poor judgment, doesn't he? By allowing this idea that he's going to challenge the great Donald Trump for the nomination in a serious way, shows very, very poor judgment. The negative blowback from MAGA Republican voters doesn't seem to have slowed him down at all, and that shows very, very poor judgment. The second strike against him is we now see that he's in with the Bush wing of the Republican Party, which is not a good thing. Okay, I'm so disappointed and disgusted by the Bushes. I was a big supporter of Jeb and GW, and what they've done as of late in the last few years is just terrible. You know, lied about weapons of mass destruction. I was in favor of intervention in Iraq. I did not know that George W. Bush was a war criminal. I didn't understand that. It's not the first time the establishment has lied to get us into wars. I got more than a little ticked at the Bushes over the weekend. I was watching a documentary on the Tonkin Gulf incident, which is the lie that President Johnson and McNamara used to get us involved in Vietnam, that our ships were attacked when they weren't attacked. And I'm watching this, and it just ticked me off. And I started thinking about George Bush lying about weapons of mass destruction when he knew it was a lie to get us involved in a war. And I see these terrible people behind Ron DeSantis destroying him and his political future, and it just ticks me off. Well, I'm looking at the clock. I took the last break a little late, so I'm going to take this break on time to get us back on schedule. Because once I get behind on the breaks, it's like a traffic jam. I don't want to do that. Fox News Channel over the weekend very well may have doomed, not on purpose, quite by accident, may have doomed Ron DeSantis's presidential campaign as they were trying to prop him up. So I'm going to get into that when we get back and much more. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back after this break.
Making morning radio. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning.
Oh.
Brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, Palm Beach. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
Tell me yes or no. Are you off a little bit because the time changed? Let me know in the chat. I don't like it. By the time we get used to it, it's time to change the clocks back again. You know what I mean?
Not trying to use this morning as an excuse, but that might be.
There might be. It could be. Yeah. 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 Because I'm on a whole routine, you know? My body is in a whole routine. And you do this, and my routine's off. Yeah. I don't like it at all. Don't like it at all.
Traffic is service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come celebrate St. Patrick's Day in the Paddock Restaurant March 17th with a delicious all-you-can-eat buffet, Irish music by Hugh O'Neill, and the Tear to Grin Dancers. And make plans for the extravagant Easter buffet and on-track Family Fun Festival Sunday, April 9th. For tickets and info, go to PBK.
Yeah, guys, I was talking earlier. Kathy and I released a new book. This is our second book, and I put the link to our book. It's on Amazon in the description here on the YouTube video. But if you're watching live, I did pin the link to our book in the chat. And the author, KB Craig, that's Kathy and Brian Craig. KB Craig's better than Kathy and Brian or Brian and Kathy Craig. You know what I mean? Shorten a little bit. And it's a book of poetry about America. No, I don't like it. I don't like it at all, the time change. Well, it's still, I'm looking outside. Let me open up the blinds. Let's see. Let me open up the blinds. They're on this side. I mean, it's usually, the sun's usually out by now, and it's still dark. It is still dark. Oh, these blinds don't open too well. Yeah. This is awful. Yeah. I just opened up the windows. They're to my left. There's usually sunlight. Nothing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ridiculous. It is not necessary. The sun's starting to come out now. And it doesn't help that it's a little cloudy today. That's exactly right. It's a disruption of the sleep cycle. That's exactly right, guys. A disruption of our sleep cycle. And I don't like it. All right, we're coming back. One more quick commercial, then we'll be back.
To the Steve Kane Show. Celebrating 5 years on the air.
All right, welcome back, one and all. It is the Steve Kane Show, Monday morning. I'm Brian Craig. I just opened up the blinds here at the radio studio, and it's a little light coming through, but it's usually like bright outside. This time change just sucks. I don't like it. I hate it. I go through this every time we change the clocks, and it's just disruptive. First off, the kids are in school. I remember when I was in school and I'm waiting for the bus and it was dark out because school started at 7:35 in the morning when I was in school. And kids should not be going to school in the dark. Okay, so we shouldn't even be doing this. Is daylight savings time, right? Is this daylight saving? I think it is. I don't like it. It's thrown me off, and I didn't realize. I barely made it to the radio station on time this morning. I am never late. I never run late, and if I'm late, I'm still early, and I barely made it here today. And I'm like, what is going on? What is wrong with me? I feel like I forgot about the time change. Because like I say, it's not like the old days where you have to physically change the clock. The clocks just change themselves, so you don't even really notice it too much. In fact, yesterday morning, the only reason I realized that the time had been changed is because my oven in the kitchen, you have to physically change that. And I woke up, I was like, what is going on here? And then I realized, oh yeah, the clock's changed. Yeah. All right, guys, welcome back. 888-GO-CANE-1 is our number. All right. So I just want to say that it pains me to say anything negative about Ron DeSantis. It really does. It really does. But he's done this to himself. And Fox News Channel decided they were going to do an infomercial for DeSantis over the weekend on Friday with Brian Kilmeade. And it completely backfired. Brian Kilmeade did two things that have just destroyed, which I guess is a good thing, has destroyed Ron DeSantis's hopes of being the nominee. And there's two clips. I want to play them for you. This is insane. So Brian Kilmeade, this was live on Fox News Channel. And Fox News, obviously, the Karl Rove types over there, they want DeSantis, not Trump. They hate Trump. And they're in this Trump-hating bubble over there. And Brian Kilmeade came to Florida and did something live that totally backfired. Okay, so now remember, he came down here to do an infomercial for DeSantis. He even interviewed him on the field where he played Little League Baseball and all this stuff. Punta Gorda, Florida. So Ron DeSantis goes into a diner in Punta Gorda, Florida, live. And, you know, this is DeSantis country. It's Florida. Punta Gorda is the area that he spent a lot of his youth in, Ron DeSantis. And he asked a question that backfired on him. He asked the people live on Fox News in Punta Gorda, Florida, in this diner, who their man was in 2024. Listen to this. This is beautiful.
The election. Rapid fire. Who's your man? Who's your woman?
My man, Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Precinct no. Who's your man?
Trump.
Or woman? Trump. Trump. A lot of Trump fans.
Trump and Nikki Haley.
And Nikki Haley.
Donald Trump and Nikki Haley.
All right, so far a lot of Donald Trump. I feel like we need a little bit of a break from election to election.
Okay. Now, this is doubly devastating for Ron DeSantis. And, you know, Brian Kilmeade figured, well, you know, this is Florida. And they love DeSantis. Well, yeah, we do love DeSantis. But we love President Trump more. All right? A lot more. And this was doubly devastating for Ron DeSantis because of this. First off, this shows that Ron DeSantis would lose the Republican primary in Florida to Donald Trump. Right? And that, you know, that's why Jeb dropped out of the race when he was running in Trump's first campaign, because he dropped out before the primary came to Florida because he didn't want to be humiliated, Jeb, and lose Florida because he was twice elected governor here. Right? So this shows that Ron DeSantis would lose the Republican primary in Florida to Donald Trump, and he's just got reelected, right? But it's worse than that. Now let me play it again.
Rapid fire. Who's your man? Who's your woman?
My man, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Precinct no. Who's your man?
Trump.
Or woman? Trump. Trump. A lot of Trump fans.
Trump and Nikki Haley.
And Nikki Haley.
Donald Trump and Nikki Haley.
All right, so far a lot of Donald Trump. I feel like we need a little bit of a break from election to election.
Yeah, then why are you asking the questions? Because he's in a panic. He's embarrassed. He's down here to promote Ron DeSantis, not sink his campaign. Well, okay, so there's two reasons why this is just devastating for DeSantis. One, it shows he would lose the Republican primary to Trump, like I said, in the state of Florida. But notice these Floridians aren't even naming DeSantis as Trump's VP. They're naming Nikki Haley. They want Nikki Haley. Someone said Kristi Noem. They don't even mention Ron DeSantis as his running mate, which shows that he has alienated the Republican voter base. And when it comes time for primary elections, the people that vote in primaries are the activist base of either party. And if he has alienated the base Republican voter, Ron DeSantis, in the state of Florida, where he's loved more than anywhere, right? How's he going to do in Iowa? Right? I know he's traveling around and going to all these places. And you got to really ask yourself, how did Ron DeSantis process this? How do you think he processed this? You know that he knows about this. You know he has seen it more than once probably. So what do they tell themselves? You know, my wife has a theory, which I'll throw at you guys. Letitia James up in New York's talking about another indictment against Trump. They're always trying to indict Trump. Don't you have to commit a crime to get arrested, get indicted, get charged? Never been a man who was such a squeaky clean Marine that has more investigation. It's amazing. And what my wife thinks is that the Never Trumpers are telling DeSantis that Trump is going to get indicted and he won't be able to run. And what they're going to do, what their long-term plan has been, this has fizzled out a lot. They were hoping to do this with the January 6th Kangaroo Committee, was get an indictment against him for something and then say, well, we can't have him on the ballot in the primary in this state because he's got this indictment against him or something. And they very well could be telling DeSantis that. And DeSantis figures, well, okay, they like Trump better than me now, but when he can't run because of this indictment, then they'll come to me. I don't think so. I think DeSantis has done so much damage to himself. You know, if people saw, if the Republican voter base in Florida saw DeSantis at this point as a fallback, he was a fallback before, and we all wanted him in 2028. I don't think he's electable in 2028 unless he comes out and denounces these never Trumpers and endorses Trump. Then he might be able to save himself. And I still say that, you know, he's probably not running. This indictment of Trump isn't going to, come on. I've been hearing about that since he came down the escalator. They've always got their indictment fantasies. So it's going to be Trump. We know this. And I was talking last week about how Florida law requires him to resign as governor to run for president. And for him to maintain his job as governor, run for president, he would have to change the law in this legislative session. And changing the law, I think, is unlikely. That would just do more damage to him. But he is so damaged with the Republican base voter that they don't even want him as the running mate anymore. And people have been saying for the last couple of years, Trump DeSantis 24, Trump DeSantis 24, especially here in Florida. Those days are over. They don't want him for that any longer. That's how much damage he has done. So is Ron DeSantis electable anymore? It doesn't look like it unless he does something big to turn this around. But he did something worse. Brian Kilmeade just destroyed the whole DeSantis 2020. Maybe Brian Kilmeade's working for Trump. I don't know. But there was a second thing that happened with Kilmeade, which I'll get to after the break. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It is Monday, and the clock's got us all messed. I know I'm not the only one that's messed up, guys. I know you're all off. You all think it's 6:43 instead of 7:43. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Every morning, 6 to 9, right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Attention wine lovers and travel enthusiasts. Join the luxurious Douro River Cruise in Portugal from August 23rd.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to bring it in this morning. Debbie sent me the coolest Trump bobblehead. It's a Trump Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator bobblehead. It's really cool. I'll show it to you guys. I'll either bring it in or take a picture of it. But Debbie, that's really cool. I have it in the podcast studio at home. It's really awesome.
Not here from congresswoman.com. We are an energy saving and insulation company. Make your home energy.
I mean, has DeSantis permanently done damage to himself? Is he beyond repair at this point, the damage he's done to himself? I think he very well may be beyond repairing himself. Well, yeah.
You can use this money for insulation and radiant barrier, up to $2,800 available. Hybrid hot water heaters, up to $3,750 available. AC units, up to $10,000 available. Electric panel upgrades, up to $6,600. And after we reduce your home consumption by 35%.
Barefoot, that'll help with the time change? How's that going to help?
$4,000 to $8,000 if you qualify. To find out how much you qualify for, call me 954-939-1500. That's 954.
Well, finally the sun's coming out.
Go to cutmykilowatts.com and fill out the form.
This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost. Let's talk to Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. The dental work is painless, and the prices are painless too. Call today, 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Very important question to ask you in this audience. Do you or someone you know and love suffer from neuropathy? If you do, or you know someone with neuropathy, you know that life is just a living torture for them, isn't it? Oh my goodness. You know, the symptoms of neuropathy are god awful: numbness, pain, burning sensation in the hands and feet, tingling in the hands and feet, muscle weakness, dizziness, loss of balance, falling down all the time, the feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet. Some have no feeling at all. And a lot of people have all these symptoms in rotation. It's just awful. And your doctors will tell you there's no treatment for these torturous neuropathy symptoms. Well, that's not true. Lighthouse Medical Center, they have treatment. They have a treatment that works. It's worked on Steve Kane and many people in this listening audience. They're located in Pompano. And if you can't make it to Pompano, still call them. They can help you no matter where you are located. Their neuropathy treatment works. I've seen it work in more than one person. And it's just such a relief to be rid of those god-awful pains and symptoms of neuropathy. Now, when you call, I'm going to give you the number. Make sure you mention you heard about them on the radio. Then you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. Their number is 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Okay. So Brian Kilmeade, who, I take this back. I thought Brian Kilmeade was down here promoting DeSantis, but maybe Brian Kilmeade was down here exposing DeSantis and helping Trump. Maybe that's what Brian Kilmeade. If Brian Kilmeade is a big Trump guy and came to Florida to destroy DeSantis's presidential hopes and dreams, he couldn't have done it better. Okay. So there were two happenings. The one I'll play again because I loved hearing this. This is Kilmeade in the Florida diner. I love this one.
The election. Rapid fire. Who's your man? Who's your woman?
My man, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Christina. Who's your man?
Donald Trump.
Or woman? Trump. A lot of Trump fans.
Trump and Nikki Haley.
And Nikki Haley.
Donald Trump and Nikki Haley.
All right, so far, a lot of Donald Trump. I feel like we need a little bit of a break from election to election.
Oh, my goodness. But it got worse because this was crazy. So Brian Kilmeade did a sit-down, one-on-one interview with Ron DeSantis on the baseball field where Governor DeSantis played Little League. And Brian Kilmeade asked Governor DeSantis a question that did even more damage. I mean, what is the biggest complaint that people have right now of Ron DeSantis? To be very specific, it's that he's got the Bushes behind him. Paul Ryan, Jeb Bush, they're behind him. They're backing him. It started with, it came out courtesy of Donald Trump, that DeSantis was getting money from these Paul Ryan donors. I'm like, how can that be? This is crazy. And then Jeb endorsed him for president. Then Jeb tried to take it back. And Jeb was at the inauguration with DeSantis at his, for the second inauguration. It was just, So Brian Kilmeade is in the Little League baseball field with DeSantis, where DeSantis played, and did further damage, Brian Kilmeade did, to Ron DeSantis's presidential campaign. Listen.
You watch President Trump come out and try to label you as a Paul Ryan, Jeb Bush type of Republican.
Now that you would think would be a softball from Brian Kilmeade. People are saying you're a Paul Ryan, Jeb Bush Republican. They don't like that. Let the viewers know, Governor DeSantis, that you're not in bed with Jeb Bush or Paul Ryan, both of whom hate Trump, and MAGA voters hate them. This is a softball. Well, Ron DeSantis blew that one.
President Trump come out and try to label you as a Paul Ryan, Jeb Bush type of Republican. And are you worried about being defined because you're governor and you're not a candidate yet?
So when you have a record of achievement, people can call you a name, but that's not going to trump the achievement. And so we've built an astounding record of achievement. The best is yet to come. I'm defined by my accomplishments. I'm defined by leading this state.
Okay. There, he threw the softball to DeSantis, you would think, to say, no, I'm not with Paul Ryan. No, I'm not with the Bush family. But he didn't. He deflected. So let me ask you the couple questions I have here, and these are important questions because Ron DeSantis has done such great work for us here in Florida, and we don't want to be. When I say we, I don't mean like the royal we. Me, I don't say me as we. I know that our other MAGA Republicans out there have liked DeSantis, supported DeSantis, and don't want to be critical of him, but he's doing this to himself. So here's my question to you. Got a couple questions here about what I've been sharing with you, and I want to hear your thoughts at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, 1-888-465-2631. Is Ron DeSantis electable on the national stage to you now as a MAGA Republican? And I'm talking really about 2028. Would you trust Ron DeSantis in 2028? That's the first question. There's all this talk about this new generation. We're hearing it from the DeSantis crowd. We're hearing it from Sarah Huckabee. Who else said this? Was it Christy? No. Oh, no, it was Nikki Haley was talking about this. They're a new generation, but the same old tired fossil handlers in the background. Jeb, GW, Paul Ryan, Karl Rove. It's the same people in the background, just new faces, younger faces out front, right? So that's ridiculous. So is Ron DeSantis still electable as our nominee in 2028? If we have him, if you go by this diner poll, which, that's amazing when you think about it. Not Trump, not even him for vice president in his home turf, Florida. Okay. And I would say that people are so upset at him that he's lost all that trust that Ron DeSantis had. He's blown lately. Can he gain it back? If he comes out soon and says, I'm not running, I endorse Trump, would we forget about all this? Or would your attitude be, well, he's just doing that because he's trying to save himself for 2028. I still don't trust the guy. He's still with the Bushes and Paul Ryan. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. That's the first part. The second part is this. Brian Kilmeade. Did Brian Kilmeade do this on purpose to Ron DeSantis? Is Brian Kilmeade a big Trump guy and just destroyed DeSantis in the diner and on the Little League field with that question on purpose to help Trump? Or was Brian Kilmeade trying to do an infomercial for Ron DeSantis and it backfired on Kilmeade? I don't know. Let me know what you think. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I do know this, that DeSantis and his crew have got to be like freaked out over this, especially the diner. The diner was the bad one. That was that was brutal. In fact, I might keep that in the permanent soundbite archive. 1-888-465-2631 is our number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Dave from Pompano.
Hey, Dave.
Good. Hey, I just wanted to say a couple of questions. Was at the TPC Sawgrass tournament this weekend, and Ron DeSantis was there at 17, which I don't know if you know much about golf.
No.
The 17th green is the Island Hall, right? And it's one of the most iconic holes in golf, and it's surrounded by a bunch of chalets and people, probably 30,000 people surrounding this hole. And he stood up, and he's standing there, and all of a sudden people start looking at his kids on his shoulders, and they're watching it. And the whole place went crazy, all cheering for him, chanting for him. So,
sure,
support, I would say, especially in Florida, which is well-deserved support in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a guy, I voted for Trump twice. If he were to or win the nomination, I could say in Florida or in the the Republican Party, I'd vote for him again. No issues.
Well, what about the Republican primary in Florida? Trump versus DeSantis.
Not sure yet. I love Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Love him. But I don't know. I also love Ron DeSantis just as much.
I love DeSantis. I love DeSantis, not as much as Trump, though. I'll tell you that. But here's the thing. If it's true that DeSantis is being funded by the Paul Ryan, Lincoln Project, Bush family crew, can you trust him?
I don't think that it's true. I think none of them were out supporting him when he ran for governor. Zero. You saw none of that. Now it's going to come out that maybe he is. Would I take their money? 100%. Would I tell them to go pound sand? I'm not going to be a George Bush type Republican. Absolutely not. You're giving me money because you support what I think and feel and what I want to do. And that's Trump-esque, right? There's no question.
No. Well, if he's taking their money, if he were to become president in 2024, one of the first things he'd have to do would be to stop this war with Russia and Ukraine, right? If he's taken all this money from the warmongers and the Bush family and the Paul Ryan crew, he's going to stand up to these people that have given him hundreds of millions of dollars and get us out of Ukraine?
Sure. Do you think Donald? I mean, and listen, I don't want to argue with you, right? I listen to your show just about every day, and I think we're probably 95% view the same things. But I will tell you, I would tell all of them, if you write me a check, you're supporting me for what I think I want to do, and you are going with that. I'm not taking your money to go along with you. But give me your money. I'm not stupid enough to tell you to be president, you need to raise $1 billion. I'll take everyone's money. But it'll also be with, guess what? You're doing this and writing me the check because you like what I say and do.
Yeah.
The way around.
All right. Wait. No.
The view, though, is if they go through a flawed knockdown primary, DeSantis comes in that primary, the primaries, right? He wins. DeSantis gets the Republican nomination. Fair fight, dog fight, whatever you want to call it. Trump goes third party. Do you support Trump going third party?
Yes, I'd vote for Trump. Yes.
So you're going to give Biden the election?
Yeah, I'd vote for Trump in the third party. Well, if it's true that if you send a Republican to the White House that's controlled by these evil Fox News, Lincoln Project, Paul Ryan forces, you might as well have a Democrat. What's the difference?
No, but we don't know. There's no evidence at all that Ron DeSantis is governed that way. Would you say he's governed like a Lincoln Project Bush? Not one bit.
No, but the Republicans have complete control of Florida and our legislative branch as well. So he hasn't gone up against opposition like he would in Washington. And he's, so it's a whole nother ball game when you get into the compromise area of things.
100%. So Donald Trump did it for 4 years, and he had to contend with him. And someone could argue he didn't do it successfully, right? Because the swamp is still there. Like, I don't know why a president like Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis or you or me, when you get in there and say everyone's resignation who leads any organization that reports to the federal government, you serve at the pleasure of the president, every single one of them who reports to the executive branch, everyone's resignation on my desk, and I will interview and determine who stays and who goes. Why not? That's how you start cleaning up.
Yeah, no, I like it. Listen, we got to run. Good call. Thanks for the call. We got to run for our break. Take care. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. We're going to take our top of the hour break, come back with more of your calls. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break, come back. Much more to talk about after this. Be right back, guys.
Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robe Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created. Here's the Oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. I hope your day's off to an awesome start. We're going to see a daytime high today in the low 90s, so it's going to be super sticky outside. We have a good chance of some scattered showers and storms later on as a cold front will cross the area. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
The expressways in the Palm Beach is still very quiet this morning and moving up the speed between both of them. People are just outside of Brooklyn. Before Sample Road, a disabled vehicle now through the center lane. We were seeing some slow traffic back. writing, acting less formally than commercial fire right now on presidential wages for area, where the servitudes are crash rate this time. This report is sponsored by the Florida Department of Transportation. Hey, listeners, before celebrating St. Patrick's Day this year, remember to you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designated sober driver that service, and if you are the designated sober driver, sober, go away your left now. Traffic is gone.
Traffic is service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come celebrate St. Patrick's Day in the Paddock Restaurant March 17th with a delicious all-you-can-eat buffet, Irish music by Hugh O'Neill, and the Tear to Great Band serves. And make plans for the extravagant Easter buffet and on-track family fun festival Sunday, April 9th. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com. Here's your True Oldies ABC News update.
People with money in Silicon Valley Bank may be breathing easier. They've been locked out of their accounts since Friday's failure and takeover by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Treasury, Federal Reserve, and FDIC taking steps to make depositors whole.
Everybody wanting their deposits back at the same time was a big part of the problem that SVB faced. And that scenario can play out elsewhere. And if it did, that would be highly problematic.
ABC's Rebecca Jarvis. No fewer than 8 people were killed when 2 suspected migrant smuggling boats capsized in shallow but treacherous water, heavy fog off San Diego. One survivor says there were 23 people on the 2 boats. Everything, everywhere, all at once named best.
Oh boy.
Awards in Los Angeles Sunday night. Star Michelle Yeoh winning Best Actress. It's ABC News.
The Oscars. How uninteresting. Last year was interesting because we got the slap. Can't believe it's been a year. Finally, it's light out.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business call at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Now, was this?
Ron DeSantis has nothing to do with any of the people who.
Yeah, I got one more DeSantis clip, which I've not played. Those first 2 I played on my podcast last night. Kathy and I talked about it. And I got one that I did not play last night. By the way, guys, my wife Kathy and I have released a new book on Amazon. It's a book of poetry about America. And in the description of the YouTube video is the link to our book. But if you're watching live, I pinned the link in the chat. So go and pick up a copy of the new book from my wife Kathy and myself. It says KB Craig is the author. That's Kathy and Brian Craig. I think that was Kathy's idea. I think that's better than Brian and Kathy or Kathy and Brian Craig. KB Craig. That's our pin name. Here we go. All right, we are back on this Monday morning. The sun has finally come out. Oh my goodness. This is nuts, this time change. All right, call is on hold. Stand by. My name is Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number, 888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
David from Lake City.
Hey, David.
Brian, in regards to Brian Kilmeade, I think he's got a bit of a Napoleonic complex. And as far as jumping on the Ron DeSantis train, I think he's got some jealousies when it comes to not having a primetime slot with Fox. And there's some talk out there, some rumblings, that maybe Tucker's days are numbered. So I think somewhere down the road, by being on this DeSantis train, maybe he's looking to be a White House correspondent or maybe hoping for a primetime with Fox.
Yeah.
And with DeSantis, I have a couple concerns. I mean, I'm a DeSantis fan, but Trump is my man, always has been, and that's not going to.
That's right.
With DeSantis, I have a couple of problems. One is I know my homeowner's insurance and my car insurance, it's going up every year substantially. The other thing is with all the population moving into Florida right now, these roads can't take. You look at Interstate 75 where I live up in Columbia County, Lake City. Even with 3 lanes, it's not enough anymore. You look at the turnpike. I don't hear much talk about infrastructure. I think DeSantis has a lot of unfinished business. And if he jumps out, with 2 years to go in his term, to me,
That's a guy.
You know, you bring up some good points. So wait till you hear the next clip I have about DeSantis that I'm sharing that I've not shared before. I get to in a moment, but when I come to the radio station, I can take either I-95 or the Turnpike, and I generally take 95, which is a little out of my way because the Turnpike is in such disrepair. The Florida Turnpike. I mean, you're right. And look, there's the red algae is washing up on the west coast of Florida right now. It's in the news today.
A lot of unfinished business, and if he jumps out midterm to run for president, all he's doing, he's being controlled by the roads and the bushes, as you say, and they hate Trump so much. They're picking on DeSantis to try to get some momentum to rub Trump out of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't care if DeSantis destroys himself, but the caller before the top of the hour was at a golf event that DeSantis was at, and I've been with the governor. I was with him at our sponsor Wings Plus. And everybody goes nuts, and that has an effect on people. When you walk out into a group of people and they're all screaming at you like the Beatles on their U.S. tour, that has an effect on someone. And so it's easy for these Lincoln Project Bushy Paul Ryan types to get in his head.
Well, they've got his attention right now, and that's very unfortunate, and that could be very damning to his book.
Yeah, I mean, I like DeSantis, but I love Trump. All right, take care, man. Thanks for the call. Now, this next clip, this one's a little more controversial. Everything we're talking about could be over when Ron DeSantis announces he's not running and he's endorsing Trump. Okay, he's not running and he's endorsing Trump. And I still stand by what I said last week, that he's not running. The announcement will be that he's not running. The Florida law does not allow him to maintain being governor and run. Right? The legislative session is in session and it's not on the docket to change that law. And if they added it, public opinion from the MAGA voter would turn so far against DeSantis, you wouldn't even have to think about it. I mean, it would be just on a dime and he'd be done. Plus, he'd have to sign that law, wouldn't he? So to change I did a whole show on this last week. So I don't see him doing that. But they're dangling this in front of him, and the man might not be thinking clearly. Okay? Fame does things to people. You ever known someone who's famous or gotten famous? Fame does something to people. I love DeSantis. I still stand that I don't think he's going to run. Okay? But they're tempting him. They're trying. They're working on him. And they're also working on his wife. You don't think Columba, Jeb's wife, is talking to her all the time? She was First Lady of Florida yes, you could be First Lady. So the January 6th prisoners, DeSantis has a January 6th prisoner problem that popped up over the weekend. I'm going to share this with you now. Now, those of you out there in this audience may not know this. Do you know who is number one on iTunes right now? Who has the number one hit song on iTunes? Think about it. It was Miley Cyrus until the other day. Who has the number one song on iTunes right now? You know who it is? Donald Trump and the January 6th choir. Okay? And I'm serious. Donald Trump is number one on iTunes. They knocked Miley Cyrus off, and it's with the January 6th choir. It's absolutely amazing. I can't play the song to you because Donald Trump and the January 6th choir are trying to raise some money, so I can't play that. You'll have to go to iTunes to hear the song. It's absolutely amazing. And for that song, I got a story or two on. Let me read you a story before I play this next clip. That's a big problem. Let me pull this up. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I think, yes. Okay, here, there's an article in the New York Post. I'll share this with you, okay? Donald Trump knocked pop star Miley Cyrus off the top of the iTunes chart over the weekend. President Trump's duet with the January 6th prison choir called Justice for All features President Trump reciting the Pledge of Allegiance while his group of background singers, made up of people jailed for their involvement in the January 6th Capitol riot, sing the Star-Spangled Banner in the background. The collaboration was #1 on iTunes, booting Miley Cyrus's Flowers from the coveted spot. The 2-minute and 20-second ditty remained #1 Sunday. Donald Trump announced in November he's running for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. It's called Justice for All. He promoted it on Truth Social. So I want you to think about that. Now that's, for this clip, is very important. So President Trump knocks Miley Cyrus, who's had and by the way, Miley Cyrus's song, I heard it's about her ex cheating on her or something. I've heard this song. When my daughter was a little girl, we used to watch Hannah Montana. So I like Miley Cyrus, even though she had a bit of a drug problem, it seemed, a few years ago. I don't know. What was she on, ecstasy when she did that thing with Alan Thicke's kid? I don't know. But anyway, I want you to think about the significance of this. President Trump, who's running for president in 2024 again, has the #1 hit song on iTunes, knocked off Miley Cyrus, and it's with the January 6th choir, right? Okay. So the aunt, I'm going to sneeze, guys, because the air popped on. I don't have COVID. I hate sneezing. Every time you sneeze, people get freaked out. But so anyway, so if you're on hold, stand by. So the aunt of one of the January 6th prisoners gave an interview over the weekend and was talking about Ron DeSantis's January 6th prisoner problem. Listen.
Ron DeSantis has nothing to do with any of the people from Florida, and there are more people in Florida than any other state who were arrested for January 6th, and he ignores every one of their calls. People are desperate.
Okay, so yeah. So regardless of your opinion on the January 6th prisoners and the DC Gitmo, we know this, okay? President Trump is #1 on iTunes with the January 6th choir, knocking Miley Cyrus off because a lot of people are sympathetic to the January 6th prisoners and the DC Gitmo, okay? That's why. That's just the way it is, okay? With a January 6th Donald Trump song being #1 on iTunes, has a president ever had the #1 song on iTunes before? President Trump, have you made history yet again? And with the aunt of this January 6th prisoner says that Ron DeSantis has done nothing for the Floridian January 6th prisoners, do you think that's a problem if you're running for president of the United States for the Republican nomination? I think it might be. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I hate to do this to DeSantis because DeSantis is such a great governor. And he's done a lot of good things. And he's going to do more great things. But he's forcing us to do this. If you're on hold, I just looked at the time. I got a break. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
I mean, if the #1 song on iTunes is Donald Trump with the January 6th choir, and if you think about it, all these things I've shared, have you seen one good story that helps DeSantis's case? Has there been anything that's come out in the last weeks that's been good for DeSantis so far as running for president against Trump? Not one. Not one. No. Oh my gosh. I just got a text message from someone. They said, good morning, folks, and welcome to the Rag on DeSantis show. And now to slander the future of the Republican Party, here's Brian. And they have a picture of Ed McMahon. I just got a text message from someone. We're trying to help DeSantis before he does damage that he can't come back from. Unbelievable. Well, yeah. If he announces he's not running and is endorsing Trump, it'd be all we could move past this. It's Trump's time. That's right. It's Trump's time. That's correct. It's Trump's time. That's right.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door.
Oh, Karl Rove with his stupid whiteboard. Karl Rove, he's decided that whiteboard is like his thing, his signature. He probably carries that around with him when he walks around town and travels. Like if you were on a plane and you're walking back towards coach like I do, and you walk through first class, Karl Rove's probably sitting there with his whiteboard in his first class airline seat. All right, callers on hold, stand by. I just got a text message from someone, a friend of mine, and I'm serious, a real friend of mine. And, you know, friends of mine can call in too, and listen to this. It's a friend of mine, someone I've known for years, sent me a text message during the break. It's a picture of Ed McMahon, which tells you something. They're old, right? And they said, and it's and they wrote what is supposed to be like Ed McMahon introducing me, right? So it's Ed McMahon. Good morning, folks, and welcome to the Rag on DeSantis show. And now, to slander the future of the Republican Party, here's Brian. Well, and this really is a friend of mine. I'm like, I do have friends. Who said that? No, I do have friends that I'm not related to. You can call me on the air and we'll talk. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. And if you're my buddy that sent me this text, you're welcome to call too. But before we go to the phones, I want to tell everyone about this incredible cruise down the Douro River through the wine country of Portugal. This is absolutely amazing. All right. It's August 23rd through September 2nd. And it started out being limited to 15 couples, but there have been some bookings, so it's fewer now. I don't have the latest count, but it's booking up. This is an incredible once in a lifetime bucket list river cruise that you will most definitely want to go on. You know, the time of year is not an accident that this river cruise is happening. This is the time of year as you're going down the Douro River and you're going through the vineyards in Portugal. This is the time of year when the grapes are on the vine. You're going to stop in these vineyards and, of course, have wine sampling, great culinary events, but you're actually going to be able to take the grapes off the vines and eat them. And what a beautiful view that's going to be going down the river. Now, listen, if you book by March 31st, you get free round-trip airfare to Lisbon, Portugal's capital, and also included is high-speed rail transportation from Lisbon to Porto, where the luxury riverboat awaits. This is a first-class experience that you will remember for the rest of your life. By the way, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and tips are included. And if you want to learn more, go to brianportugal.com. When you go to brianportugal.com, on the left, click on that request a brochure. You request that brochure, you'll get all the information about this incredible cruise through the wine country of Portugal down the Douro River. That's brianportugal.com. brianportugal.com, and request a brochure. All right, we'll go to the phones. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Helen from Kansas.
Yes, Helen.
Okay, well, you brought up this, they're trying to bring up another suit against Trump.
They're saying that he's going to be indicted in New York again for something.
Whatever. Okay, God says that, and the Constitution says, Amendments 4 through 14, and we have laws against frivolous lawsuits. So how many frivolous lawsuits have they brought against Trump?
Well, that's simple. However many lawsuits there have been against him, that's how many frivolous lawsuits there's been against him.
There you go. And so, and Deuteronomy 19, 15 through 20, 21. That's against God's law to bring up frivolous lawsuits against people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trump has been through the ringer. I tell you.
He has. And it'll never end. It'll never end. And this is a message. They don't want other guys like Trump, guys that can't be bought by the special interest in the donors in China, guys that are too rich to be bought. Okay. All right. Take care. All right. That's Helen. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Yes, Doug. Full board of calls. I got Helen and Doug.
I just had a commercial on Friendly Tire. I was just over at Friendly Tire. Everybody's got to remember that Friendly Tire will plug a tire. Most people in the tire business today won't plug it. I thought I had a nail. Turned out to be a big bolt that was in my tire. You plugged in 1, 2, 3, and I was on my way. Anyway.
That's right.
Big guy. Anyway, DeSantis is a smart guy. Anybody who's smart, when you look at the January 6th rally, all those thousands and thousands of people, everybody knows you can't get anybody like that. He's great, but you can never beat Trump. I mean, Trump is like the Beatles or Elvis. It's a class all of his own. So DeSantis is smart. He's selling his book. I don't think he's going to run. I think he's smart. He doesn't want to say he's not running yet because he's getting book sales, in my opinion. But
oh, really?
See again.
Okay, appreciate the call, Doug. Appreciate the call. Yes. I got a full board of calls. First call, Helen. Second call, Doug. Full board of calls. I'm telling you, at the casino, if they would just, instead of numbers, have like names, I would always bet on Helen and Doug. I'd win every time. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, it's Doris.
Oh, my goodness. A voice from the past. How you doing, Doris?
I'm fine, thanks. Listen, I don't think DeSantis has got half the blame that Donald Trump has.
Well, who does?
But Donald Trump is exceptional. He is a gift from God, and most of your people, I think, would agree with that. But also, I want to tell you something else. I've been reading the paper. I hate to say it, but I'm still reading the Sun Sentinel.
Oh.
But, you know, even though DeSantis is in control up in Tallahassee, they're going for a 6-week abortion allowance.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we, with Roe versus Wade thrown out, why are we going back to a partial, we'll have an abortion for part of the time? We don't want that in Florida, but that's not what he's giving us. And DeSantis is in control. Also, there's no school voucher. And ask anybody who has a handicapped child what the help is for handicapped children. Do you remember the woman that killed, her son killed all those up in the school in New Jersey 10 years ago? She begs for help for her son who was exhibiting all kinds of erotic behavior. There was no help.
Erratic. You mean, you said erotic behavior. You meant erratic behavior, Doris, right? Erratic.
Yeah.
You said erotic behavior.
Yeah, all right. Well, let me tell you, I'm going to be 93 on the 21st of this month.
Oh, my.
I'm entitled to a couple of slips.
That's true.
So, by the way, Steve Kane has much to thank you for being. He's going to be 84 someday this month. Birthday.
It is. I don't know which day Steve's birthday is. You know, there's a bunch of birthdays I have in the same month, and I get them all confused.
Call in and wish him a happy birthday and tell him how grateful he should be that at his age, 84, he's as popular as he is in the United States of America, to have the Steve Kane Show be tie up as it is. I mean, wherever I go, people say to me, "Oh, I listen to Steve Kane. I've been listening for years. Oh, I listen to the Steve Kane Show." And I'll tell you, you keep us happy. I was really miserable last birthday because things were so bad.
Yeah.
You know, and also another thing, Tucker has had a complete reversal. When I heard him Monday night, his voice was like that singer that loves Trump so much. And they were sitting at a table one time, and he said, I love Donald Trump. His voice was so soft and loving. He said, I have to give him a hug. And that's the same quality I heard in the voice of Tucker.
Yeah, on Monday. Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, Doris, I gotta run, but happy birthday, and we'll talk again. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again.
Oh man.
The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning.
Oh boy, I tell you, it'll take me about 2 weeks to get used to the time change. What about you guys?
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Oh yeah, Doris is good. She's good.
Traffic is service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come celebrate St. Patrick's Day in the Paddock Restaurant March 17th with a delicious all-you-can-eat buffet, Irish music by Hugh O'Neill, and the Tear the Great Dancers. And make plans for the extravagant Easter buffet and on-track Family Fun Festival Sunday, April 9th. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com. Think you might have COVID? Have you come into contact with someone who is sick? Are you traveling and need a COVID test? Same-day PCR testing is available at any lab test now at Boca in the Sandalwood Plaza with Western Davis.
Did any of you see this story about the woman at the Boca Raton, Florida city planning meeting that talked about Sugar Daddy Appreciation Day? I might share this just because it's a local story that's in the national news. It was so bizarre. Yeah. Yeah, it just throws my schedule off. Mm-hmm.
Slate tile and flat roof systems. We work with homeowners, HOAs, commercial properties, and churches. We are state of Florida licensed roofing and general contractor. California Contracting Family is what we are, and roofing and restoration is what we do. We help guide our customers to a successful outcome.
They just want to make us miserable, the time change. That's the only reason I can think of. I like it getting lighter earlier myself because I'm a morning person. I know some people like it lighter later because they're, night people. Which would you rather have? You guys are probably mostly morning people too.
make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor.
By the way, guys, click that link. It's in the description of the video, but it's also pinned in the chat. Kathy and I have released a new book. This is our second book. It's a book of poetry about America, and it's available on Amazon. And KB Craig, Kathy and Brian Craig. Well, yeah, if you're here now, you're probably a morning person.
Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. Right here.
The sugar daddy thing's hilarious. What is the name of the singer from No Doubt? I just forgot her name. The singer from No Doubt. I just forgot her name. I was about to say it. The lead singer from No Doubt. Gwen Stefani. Thank you very much, Gwen Stefani. I need to know that for a reason.
Celebrating 45 years on the air.
Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Alexandria, Virginia.
Hey, Virginia. That's where the bureaucracy and deep state live.
You got it. And about half was El Salvador. Anyway, I just started listening to you on YouTube. Love you, Brian.
Welcome.
One of the thoughts that I have is that DeSantis is very smart. I know that. There's no question about it. He's a good man. One thing I'd like to point out to DeSantis is the fact that right now it's clear that the real good opposition to the deep state is not in Washington. It's in the state governments, and they're coming better and better every day. The second thing is that DeSantis is, if you can watch MSNBC, for instance, he would know that the liberal progressives, they want him to run so bad that they can't even believe it. Now, the only one that says what they think about him in truth is Joy Reid. She knows DeSantis is a real threat, but they want him anyway, and that's only to go after Trump.
And, our criticism of DeSantis, those of us that are Trump people, we're trying to help DeSantis. DeSantis may already be at the point of no return. He may, when I played in the last hour, I don't know if you heard it, Brian Kilmeade went into a Florida diner and asked him who they would vote for. And let me play this again for people that are just tuning in. This was Friday. Brian Kilmeade came to Florida, did a whole piece on DeSantis. He goes into a diner in Punta Gorda, Florida, and it's important to remember DeSantis just was elected for the second time as governor. He's nowhere is he more popular than here. Here's Kilmeade in the Florida diner.
The election. Rapid fire. Who's your man? Who's your woman? My man, Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Christina. Who's your man? Donald Trump. What woman? Trump. A lot of Trump fans.
Trump and Nikki Haley.
And Nikki Haley.
Donald Trump and Nikki Haley.
All right, so far a lot of Donald Trump. I feel like we need a little bit of a break from election to election.
So it looks like DeSantis would lose the Florida primary to Trump based on that. They don't even want him to be the VP.
You pointed that out very well.
Yeah.
I think Brian Kilmeade in any way has been a Trump person. He's basically a wimp is the way I look at him. And if they did what Tucker Carlson, what you suggested they've done, I'm done with Fox News. That's it.
I think Tucker, they've already made the decision to fire him. I think so. Yeah. And I think the one call earlier is right. Kilmeade, there's not a time slot Kilmeade doesn't want. So he may see himself in that prime time slot where Tucker's at. Yeah.
Yeah, him and Chris Wallace.
Oh my gosh. All right. Take care, man. Appreciate it. Welcome to the show. Welcome. All right. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yeah, you're on the air.
IB in Broward.
Okay, Broward.
For thought, food for thought. The Senate just passed their $40 billion bill called the CHIPS deal. That's supposedly to bring stuff back to Silicon Valley, making and so forth. So I wonder if that has a connection to do with the bank situation. Now the FDIC is moved. They were not covered, these people banging on the doors. So I wonder if there's a connection, and if so, if there's a connection between the two, keep in mind, New York, California, always the shenanigans.
Well, I'll tell. There's a couple possibilities here. The bank in California, the Silicon Valley Bank, has a lot of Chinese CCP investment. I was talking about that in the first hour. The New York bank that the Fed just took over has a lot of crypto in it. When the FTX crypto thing happened, we found out that the Democrats were laundering Ukraine money through FTX, and these banks very well may be up to their eyeballs in FTX, and they're trying to cover. And I tell people what I'm talking about is Zelensky bought $100 million worth of FTX crypto while his country's on the verge of collapse with our money, by the way. And then he donated almost $40 million to the Democrats for their entire midterm election. So it could be an FTX cover-up.
Here's my point. In order to print money, you must create a debt. You beat me to the punch. They're going to be printing something maybe next for New York. So in order to create debt, you have to print money. All that money is not necessarily going to go to just pay that debt, because they always print more than what the debt is. So that puts more inflation. More money printed, weaker dollar. So when William Youngman gets on the line, I want you to have him explain. He's a professional. They'll take his word. What is super hyperinflation?
Okay.
That's my point.
Yeah. But one thing we do know, whatever they print and whoever it goes, the big guy gets 10%, according to the laptop. That's it.
Notice it's New York and California where the problem is, where it lies.
Mm-hmm. All right, take care. Thanks for the call, man, from Broward. Oh, did any of you see this thing in the news? It's a local story, but it's in the national news now, of the woman who was so well endowed, she makes Dolly Parton look like Gwen Stefani before she had the breast implants. This woman went to, I know, a lot of references there you got to think about with the time change. Who knows if you can even figure it out, right? I know I'm out of it with the time change. This woman, she goes to the Boca Planning Commission and addresses the body, and she's got this old man standing behind her. Have any of you seen this in the news? Let me play this. This was unbelievable. Listen.
You guys might not be aware, but Florida has the largest per capita population of sugar daddies.
Yeah, okay. So she's talking to the Boca Planning Commission. She said that Florida has the largest per capita population of sugar daddies.
You guys might not be aware, but Florida has the largest per capita population of sugar daddies in the U.S. Miami, Palm Beach, and Boca lies the most concentrated populace of these aged benefactors. Sugar daddies, both gay and straight, and yes, even sugar mommies, are responsible for college educations, cars, homes, rents, jets, Birkins, and the occasional body enhancement. But not me though, I'm all natural. Supporting our local economy. Let us celebrate these giving, generous Samaritans as I stand before you, requesting that you decree a Sugar Daddy and Mommy Appreciation Day on March 10th to honor those who have given us so much. Thank you and love you all. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you that's a city council issue.
Okay, and this idiot on the Boca Planning Commission, well, that's a city council issue. You're addressing the wrong body. Yeah, she's advocating for Sugar Daddy and Sugar Mommy Appreciation Day. And then the old man behind her sat down in a wheelchair and she wheeled him out of the meeting. It is hilarious. I did tweet that story if you want to see it. And I'll tell you what's weird about it is it doesn't look to be like some Instagram, TikTok publicity stunt. This was like 5 or 6 days ago, and I did see this the other day, but I didn't bring it up. It doesn't really fit into what we would normally do, but I saw that this made it into the national media, and it's all over social media worldwide now. So I thought I'd share it. And usually something like this, you would immediately think is a publicity stunt. There's no TikTok handle. There's no Instagram given out or anything. I think this woman actually was serious as a heart attack. It was, if it was a publicity stunt, what is she getting the publicity for? You know? And she does have a lot of journalists trying to find her. She introduced herself as Ashley Cream when she went up on stage. Very bizarre. Now, coming up in just a couple minutes, we're going to break and come back with William Youngerman for the Gold Report. And with this bank failure, the Silicon Valley bank failure, and then this other bank being shut down by the federal government in New York City, it'll be interesting to see how that's affecting the metals with these bank failures going on. So we'll get into that a little bit with William Youngerman when we get the report on the metals. I've not looked at the metals. I don't know what they look like, but we'll find out shortly. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. After the Gold Report, we'll go back to the phones. I got a couple things I'm going to try to squeeze in before the end of the show, but we've covered a lot of good information today. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. And don't forget, if you've missed a portion of the show this day or any day, about an hour after we go off the air each day, the entire program is uploaded to our radio station website, TrueOldiesFLA.com, TrueOldiesFLA.com. And once the show's uploaded there, it's there forever. So they're archived up there, okay? TrueOldiesFLA.com. So if you missed a part of the show, you can catch it there, or maybe you called in, you want to listen to your call, or even download your call and save it and play to your friends or to yourself. TrueOldiesFLA.com. That's TrueOldiesFLA.com on the podcast page, and you can find us there. All right, we'll be right back with the Gold Report.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. And here we are in one of those situations, William Youngerman. We have bank failures going on, and we're going to find out how that's affecting the gold and other precious metals. How the metals starting off the week, William Youngerman?
They're starting off very strong, very much up, continuing from last week, which, as we said last week, there would be a flight to safety, and that's where gold comes in and is really proven itself once again that those that have the gold make the rules. And the markets Friday closed up $37 on gold at $1,867.90. Silver was up 47 cents, closing out the week at $20.52. Platinum was up $17 at $961, and palladium closed out at $1,318, down $6. This rally continues today, as we see gold getting up to $1,901 so far today, and right now at $1,896.40. That's up $28.30.
Wow.
Silver up 98 cents at $21.50 the ounce. Platinum up $29 at $990, and palladium up $13 at $1,331. So this flight for safety, we're seeing treasury bills go up and especially gold, with some of these banking stocks dropping some 60% on some of these stocks. So this flight to safety is real, and it's very real when it comes to gold.
Well, you know, gold's been through everything over the last 5,000 years that humanity's been through, and it is a great store of value. Now, today with gold so high, is gold a great buy today?
I still think it's a great buy. I think gold is, as I said at the beginning of the year, I think we're going to see over $2,000 gold this year, and anywhere in here is we're just up now at around the February 9th high that we saw this year, but. Well, it got up to 1,901 so far this morning.
Is there any particular gold product you'd recommend today?
And I just recommend all of the products that have the lowest premiums and that are that can be resold later on without a 1099, and we have all of those products in stock.
Yeah, and of course you can stop in. William Youngerman is located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. And at William Youngerman's, all the metals are available for immediate delivery, which means you can walk out with your gold, your silver, your platinum, whatever you're buying, you can walk out with it. But you can also order by phone no matter where you're located, even if you're local and you can't make it in for whatever reason. But if you're out of town, out of state, or even internationally, you can buy from William Youngerman at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, and online, williamyoungerman.com. And of course, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. today. All right, William Youngerman, I know you're going to be busy today. Oh boy, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the...
Indeed it is. Oh man, 1-888-GO-KANE-1 is our number. I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Show. Okay, I'm saving this for the end just because I typically don't care too much about the Oscars, but there's two clips I want to play. Last year the Oscars were interesting because Will Smith, knocked out, Chris Rock, and that was, we talked about that and everything else. But there's two clips I want to play. One for Best Actress. Is that still a thing, or is it Best Female Actor? I don't know. Michelle Yeoh, who you may remember from the Crouching Tiger movie a long time ago. She went up and got her Oscar and took a jab at Don Lemon. Listen.
Thank you. Thank you. For all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight.
First off, are Asian, she's Chinese. Are the Asian people now discriminated against? She was in that Crazy Rich Asians movie, which discriminated against non-Asians because they only would cast Asian people to be in it. But this idea that Asian people that look Asian are discriminated against is just ridiculous. But she's going to take a jab here at Don Lemon, which is why I'm playing it.
Thank you. Thank you. For all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight. This is a beacon of hope and possibilities. This is proof that dreams dream big and dreams do come true. And ladies, don't let anybody tell you you are ever past your prime.
See, that's Don Lemon, in his comments about. But I'll tell you this about Michelle Yeoh, and you can even understand this woman when she talks. Okay, her accent is so heavy. In fact, she was in one of the Star Trek shows. She's in one of the Star Trek shows, Star Trek Discovery, and she has her own Star Trek show coming out. And I'm a big Star Trek fan. The episodes with Michelle Yeoh in them, I put the subtitles on because I can't understand a word she says. And I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. How can she get an Oscar for Best Actor when you got to put the subtitles on to listen to her speak English? So then Jimmy Kimmel, who's a real beaut, as President Trump would say, Jimmy Kimmel took a jab at Tucker Carlson's January 6th coverage a week ago tonight, right? The last Monday night. They're talking about the Oscar for Best Film Editor, right? That's a thing, right? And he was talking about it. Listen, this is Jimmy Kimmel.
Editors can turn 44,000 hours of violent insurrection footage into a respectful sightseeing tour of the Capitol.
Yeah.
Work is underappreciated.
Okay. Yes. That's That's the shaman he's talking about. Oh my goodness. Don Lemon is going to get fired. Tucker Carlson's going to get fired. And, here we are a week after Tucker Carlson's great reporting last Monday night. And everyone's taking jabs at him. Everyone's talking about him. Everyone on the left are saying things like Jimmy Kimmel. Not one single person has shown that clip that he showed, the 2 clips he showed, and said, this is not what happened. This is the footage. Let me show you what really happened and what Tucker Carlson misrepresented. I haven't seen anyone do that. And they take jabs, they make jokes, they attack, they suppress him, they do all of these things, but no one has even attempted. It's not that they haven't tried and failed. No one has even attempted to go through that footage and show that he was giving us false information. And so far as Jimmy Kimmel there, Jimmy Kimmel is saying that he selectively edited that video. Then go through the video and show us where he selectively edited the video. I'd very much like to see it. Looked like he showed some pretty raw footage to me. I don't know what Jimmy Kimmel's talking about, but when you're talking to, that's the problem with comedy today. They talk, you got liberal comedians with an audience of liberal jerks, and they just throw things out that aren't funny, but because the liberals want to hear them, they applaud and get all excited about all this stuff. There's one last clip that I want to play from someone that we've kind of forgotten about, but is a local South Florida person. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Oh boy. She's another beaut. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. What she said over the weekend is outrageous. She commented on the fentanyl crisis. And let me play the clip and then we'll talk about it.
Majority, Jose, as you know, of drugs, which is absolutely something we have to stop, are coming across the border, mostly carried by Americans at our actual border crossings.
Wow. See, now, a lot of people, everyone has misread this of what Debbie wants. First off, the Chinese are bringing the fentanyl to Mexico and working with the cartels to bring it here. A lot of people say, well, wait a minute, she's blaming Americans? No, she's not blaming Americans. Let me play it again, then I'll tell you what she's saying.
The majority, Jose, as you know, of drugs, which is absolutely something we have to stop, are coming across the border, mostly carried by Americans at our actual border crossings.
Okay. She does not mean Americans like you and me, or these Americans that were murdered by the cartel last week. See, what the Democrats have spent the last 15 years trying to do and have finally accomplished. An American is anyone from North or South America. I'm serious. If remember the caller earlier said half of Guatemala is in Virginia. If you're from Guatemala, you're an American because that's in Central America. If you're Canadian, you're American because that's in North America. If you're if you're in Venezuela, you're an American. That's in South America. So that's what she's talking about there. We're all Americans if you're in North or South America because, they're changing the language. They can't even decide what a she is or a he anymore. But that's what she's not talking about like Americans. She's talking about Latin Americans. That's Debbie Wasserman Schultz, one of our South Florida Congress people. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Chris from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, great point on 2 of those, actually. Because in the Spanish class, they were recently teaching us, they don't want you to say, I'm American, I'm from America. They want you to say North American.
Yeah.
Admit about it.
That's a big thing. They're changing our language.
This global thing, exactly. There's a big picture out there. And then, of course, really thank you for bringing up the January 6th whole deal, because no one, you're the first one I've heard say this, and I'm just preaching this to my people. They're not denouncing, denying. They've chosen a side. And so that's why I have no respect anymore for people who are like, Democrat or voting Democrat. You used to have people support those who support them. So if you happen to be an activist of one thing or another, but come on, you have to love America. You still need America. So to just choose a side and just deny, you should want the truth. If I were one of them and I saw a video like that, I said, wait a second, is that true? I mean, let's get to, if that's really true, this is wrong. No, you're not hearing any of that. They're just, like you said, they're just,
yeah. Listen, before the tapes came out, I said, if it makes us look bad, I just want the truth out. Whatever happened. I just want the truth out, but not them.
And for your audience, that's the difference between conservative and liberal, Democrat, Republican. That right there. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. All right, Chris. Hey, thanks for the call. Okay, Chris has always got something interesting and good to contribute. Now, I want to tell you guys, Mike Lindell, the inventor of the MyPillow, has done it again. He has improved on perfection. You know, 2 years, it'll be 2 years next month. My wife and I have been sleeping on our 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, which will change your life. You know, this time change. I remember the first night that I slept on my MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper was a Saturday night. I woke up on Sunday morning and the sun was out. I slept in. Since I've had my 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, I wake up when my alarm goes off, not earlier. I used to always wake up earlier. You will sleep like you never have before with your 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, and you'll jump out of bed without any creaks or anything. Your body, because the pressure points are perfectly situated on the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. Well, Mike Lindell has improved on it. My wife and I have ordered a new one. You know, we've been talking about the MyPillow 2.0 with the cooling technology. He's now done the same thing to the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. He has introduced the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 with that cooling technology so that your body never gets hot at night. Unbelievable. I can't wait. My wife is very excited. You know, she tells me that women with menopause will really benefit from this like they do with the pillow, because women that are going through menopause are, well, they got the night sweats. They're hot all night long. And you'll be the perfect body temperature all night with your 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0. Now, if you go to MyPillow.com to order, get this, with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 with that cooling technology is 40% off, and you get free shipping. Free shipping and 40% off. The 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0 comes in all mattress sizes from twin all the way up to king, California king, even split king, and every size in between. We have a queen, and that's what we got coming. So 40% off and free shipping on the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper 2.0, but you got to use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, toll free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Well, listen, everyone, I hope you and I are more on track with this time change tomorrow than we are today, because I hate it. At least the sun's finally out, huh? Finally, it's 9 o'clock. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio this year. That's right. And we are here weekday mornings live starting at 6 a.m., and we will be back tomorrow discussing all the craziness that's going on in the news. Take care, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And those of you that called and participated, great calls today. Great calls, great content. Made me think a little bit as well. God bless America. And, of course, God bless the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. See you tomorrow. All right, guys, I got to run, but I'll see you later, all right? Make sure you like the video before you go. Take care.